Kia ora. In today's news, Nelson Tasman Civil Defence say reports from aerial assessments over the Upper South Island are sobering. 48 hours of heavy rain has caused around 200 landslides and dozens of evacuations because of that, and a state of emergency for the region is expected to remain for the next week. Tasman Mayor Richard Kempthorne told Rhema News it was the worst downpour in 100 years for Nelson City and the Tasman district. He expects the clean-up will be a long and stressful one for many.
Part of the stress comes as people go to return home and they find that there's a hang of a mess to clean up. How are we going to do it, and where are the contractors and machinery, and where are we going to dump rubbish, and all of that sort of things.
Building inspectors, geotechnical engineers and civil defence welfare staff have been checking properties and labelling houses as safe, restricted or do not enter. People have been advised to stay away from gullies, creeks and other slip or flood-prone areas. 2 containers were lost overboard from the Rhema in last night's storm. One damaged container carrying aluminium chairs has sunk. Another floating container carrying 18 packets of timber and fitted with a transponder is being monitored. A Russian fishing vessel trapped in the Southern Ocean may have a long wait before being rescued. The Sparta made a mayday call early this morning from its position next to the Antarctic ice shelf. 3 rescue ships heading to their aid are having trouble due to heavy sea ice. The crew of the stricken ship will attempt to repair the hole in their hull themselves. AMI Insurance is to be divided into 2 companies. The government will back the entity covering the Canterbury earthquake claims, while IAG New Zealand has brought out the rest of the troubled insurer for $380 million. The plan remains subject to regulatory control approval. The Air Force has released Court of Inquiry findings into the fatal helicopter crash on Anzac Day last year. The inquiry found there were 6 causes, including inadequate preparation or training for flying in bad weather. The court has made 10 recommendations surrounding weather, equipment and training procedures. Fonterra has confirmed it will be providing milk for primary schools in Northland. The trial will initially cover 110 Northland schools with 14,000 children from next year, and the company is promising it won't be warm milk as in the past. Fonterra is looking at installing refrigerators in the schools and recycling the packaging. The funeral service for Radio New Zealand journalist Philip Cottrell was held in Wellington this afternoon. The 17-year-old jointly charged with Nico Waipuka for Mr Cottrell's murder has had his name suppression extended. Family members and friends were in court to support the team today. Overseas, South Sudan is looking for business. It gained independence after decades of war, but although it ended up with 70% of the oil fields, it relies on Sudan to the north for the pipelines. President Salva Kiir addressed an international conference in Washington.
I want to invite you today to come with me to South Sudan after this conference to help develop our potential in oil, gas and mineral resources.
Russia says it is ready to commit more than $10 billion to the International Monetary Fund to help support the struggling Eurozone economy. President Dmitry Medvedev made the pledge Thursday in Brussels during the biannual EU-Russia summit. Those are the headlines from the RBG News team. Good night.